Hello, everyone, and welcome into our night show featuring the Butt Fumble Sports Fantasy Football Advice Hour. If you guys need help with your fantasy football drafts, trades, anything you guys need help with, Butt Fumble Sports is here to help you guys out. So, if you guys have questions, comments, fire away in the comments section because Butt Fumble Sports is here to help you guys out with everything you guys need. We decided to come on live during this nighttime hour on Friday night to help you guys out. I know there are a lot of drafts going on this weekend. This is really one of the big weekends, the kickoff weekend for a lot of drafts. So if you need fantasy football help, Butt Fumble Sports came on Friday night, jumped on live. I told you guys we would. So if you have questions, fire away. Here to help you guys out with everything you guys need about fantasy football, trades, draft help. We've been doing a lot of mock drafts over the last few weeks, so here to help you guys out. I have my drafts this upcoming Sunday. Because it's no longer that extra time, not nearly as big a problem. So, anyways, if you guys need fantasy football help, Butt Fumble Sports is here for you. No matter the platform, we're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. We're on everything right now. So if you guys need help, no matter what you need help with, we've got everything you guys need. If you've got fantasy football questions, let us know. K-Mark, what's going down? What do you think is better duo in fantasy? Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Walker. Oh, it's Ridley and Pollard. Ridley and Pollard for sure. Hope you guys are doing well. 5 for 5 and underdogs tonight. Nice job, Sean. Nice job. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. If you have fantasy football questions, here to help you guys out. Isaac, I'm assuming you're Gibbs and Pierce. That's a really tough one. I actually think I might lean towards Pierce, number one. I know that may surprise many of you, but it's because Gibbs is splitting touches with David Montgomery to a certain extent. And Dameon Pierce, second year in the league, he now knows how to go through 17 games of grind. So I think Pierce is probably better suited for good production this year. Make sure you guys are hitting that share button. Make sure you guys are sharing the channel. Am I forklift certified? No, but I did go to Indiana University, so you get a degree in some things. Basketball, but not forklifts. Where do we draft Jonathan Taylor? I think Jonathan Taylor right now should probably be drafted in about the third round, maybe the late second. I wouldn't let him fall too far because I do think he's either going to get moved or there's going to be production. But either way, I'm going to stay away from him. In the auction drafts I'm going to be a part of, I'm going to nominate him, then I won't actually draft him. Hope you guys are doing well. If you guys have fantasy football questions, here to help you guys out. No matter what platform you're watching on, Butt Fumble Sports is here for you guys. So if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok Live, make sure that you share your questions with us, whether it's about trades, whether it's about how to do your drafts, let us know. Vanilla Sports is in the show. What's going on, Vanilla Sports? Hope you're having a good night. I know a lot of you guys are doing your drafts this weekend. I am, so. Big Tuna. I don't like A.J. Brown this year. Who should I trade him for? I'm big on Waddle this year. I'm big on Ridley this year. Those are guys you could get maybe and also kind of ask for a throw-in bench, kind of flex running back, throwaway running back. That's something you could do. Who's your favorite non-Kelsey receiving option in Kansas City? That's a great question. It was Kadarius Toney until he got hurt. It may still be if he's healthy by week 1. That said, Rice is probably 2. Rashee Rice. If you guys have fantasy football questions, fire away. That's why we're here. That's why we jumped on live on TikTok Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. If you need help with your trades, here for it. Willie, what's good? Standard scoring, who are your top 3 off the board? Standard scoring, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, and then I would still have Justin Jefferson. It's still those same 3, it's just in a different order. Who is a good late round tight end? I'm seeing David Njoku go far later than he probably should. I'm seeing the same with Evan Ingram. Look for Sam Laporta if you're talking really deep drafts. Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Schultz is an interesting one, but really as like a backup to somebody. Like if you drafted Kyle Pitts and you wanted a bit of insurance, Dalton Schultz would be good for that. But there are 3 good rookie tight ends that you could draft late. But I certainly think you could probably get Njoku and Evan Ingram. That's all, folks. Every time you kind of babble, sometimes that happens. When do you draft DeAndre Swift? Ooh, he's at this point kind of close to maybe the 10th, 11th round. I mean, I just think that there's a lot of reasons to kind of fade him. Jalen Hurts is going to get rushing production. Rashad Penny's going to get rushing production. They still have to feed all of those receiving weapons. There's even talk about Jonathan Taylor going to Philadelphia. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but it kind of speaks to how the Eagles aren't content with DeAndre Swift. So, for a number of reasons, not big on him as well. Are you drafting hero or zero strategy? I haven't heard about hero or zero strategy. This is the strategy I go for. I'm looking to get as many players on the top 5 offenses. Specifically, I want the top 5 offenses for passing when it comes to receivers and tight ends. The top 5, offenses when it comes to rushing yards. By the way, Sean, thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate that. By the way, if you do subscribe, we're going to do a lot of things exclusively for subscribers to help you guys out with your lineups throughout the year, give you guys exclusive access to what we're thinking ahead of time. With that said, I think it's about drafting players in the top 5 in terms of offense. So, no, I don't think I want Madison because the running back of the Vikings isn't a top 5 running back, really. They're a top 5 passing offense, typically. So that's an example. I want to kind of base things off of that. It's one of the reasons I actually do like Jahmyr Gibbs is because that offensive line of the Lions is so good that they're a top running offense. Swap out one running back for another. Or in this case, 2, because they got rid of Jamal as well. What do I think about Sky Moore this year? I really like Sky Moore, but there are times where throughout college and in the pro level, Sky Moore sometimes, I use the word kind of like aloof. He just kind of gets lost. And sometimes that can be effective because defenses assume he's making a mistake, hence in the Super Bowl. But at other times, he actually is making a mistake. I need to see more consistency from him, so I like him. But I think Sky Moore is really versatile, but he also has a lot of tendencies for drops. He has tendencies for mental mistakes. So that's the only reason. I know that's kind of almost like a deeper dive on it. In terms of production, I think his production is going to be pretty solid, Sean. Mason, what's good? Trevor Lawrence, Pollard, Najee Harris, Justin Jefferson, Olave. This is a really solid team overall. Probably give it like a B+ from what I'm seeing. Really like it overall. Steve, hey bro. Musical Mr. B, what's good? My 8-man draft, Mahomes, Cook, Jones, Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris Olave, Tucker, Jets defense, Kamara. The one issue I have right now is the running game is weak overall. You have unbelievable wide receivers, Musical Mr. B, but unfortunately, and this is an 8-man league, so you really should have probably done a little bit better at running back. You may want to find some ways to upgrade at that running back position. Again, because Kamara's not there early in the year. Where's he going to be in this offense overall? I'm kind of curious to see what ultimately happens to him. It could be a really good thing. He could be a great addition to your team and ultimately give you good production later in the year because he's better rested. At the same time, because he's not there, Dalvin Cook splitting touches. I'm assuming that's Aaron Jones. He's splitting touches. So you really don't have like a true RB1. I guess Aaron Jones is, but it's a little dicey there. Mahomes will spread the ball around. Only Kelsey's the one consistently. I agree. Sean, thank you so much for sharing that channel. And Musical Mr. B, welcome to the Butt Fumble Sports community. How do you think Javonte will do this year? I think defenses don't respect Russell Wilson in the passing game. So simply because of that, I think they're going to stack the box. I think they're going to challenge Russell Wilson to beat them. I don't think they're going to respect the running game. So they're going to compact it. They're going to stop the run, and they're going to say, okay, Russell Wilson, beat us through the air. And that concerns me because I don't think Javonte Williams is talented enough, nor do I think the Broncos' offensive line is talented enough to overcome the fact that there are probably 8 guys in the box to go after Russell Wilson for a sack purpose or to shut down the running game. So I'm kind of fading Javonte. Again, he's someone, I do a lot of auction drafts. I'll nominate him, and then I'll pass on him. Let someone else spend their draft capital on him. Lance to the Cowboys. Yeah, big news. And 2 things. One, I actually think it's a sign that John Lynch, is a brilliant general manager. Something I love across sports. When something doesn't work out, just move on. Don't leave it around. Don't let it fester. Don't literally become like a rotting piece of food in the fridge. Trey Lance didn't work out. Just move on from him. You got a 4th round pick that's probably really good value. I know you gave up a lot. I know in retrospect it's going to turn out to one of the worst trades because of what the Dolphins got from the 49ers. That's sunk cost. You got to move on from that. So you got a 4th round pick. That's good for next year. And as for the Cowboys, I love what they did. They got a young player who still has a lot of promise, really cheap. If Dak Prescott goes down, which isn't the craziest thing that could happen, we all know Dak Prescott's had injury history. So with that said, kind of a good insurance policy. Very Jerry Jones. I thought it was really smart. It's just surprising that these 2 franchises are making a trade. Speaking of trades, musical Mr. B, who'd be a good trade grab at running back? Well, it's tough because I'm going to talk to you guys about trades for just 1 second. This is a piece of advice for all of you guys when it comes to trades. Trades are like poker. It's less about the cards and more about the people you're playing against. So, which opposing players... Thank you so much for the hat, Mr. Beto. Hit that live goal. Thank you so much. So, speaking of trades, which other owners in your fantasy league are dopes, are morons, are not connected to football, are more likely to make mistakes, are more likely to do something that actually puts you in an advantage? So, that would be the one thing I want to call out, which is if you can, don't try and target an individual player. It becomes really hard, in part because there always seems to be on the team of the guy who's really hard to trade with, who knows a lot about the game. So what you really want to do is you want to find the guy in your league who's a stooge, and then just absolutely take him to town. There must be one player on his team that you like. Don't ask about that player first. Don't ask about that player first. Ask about somebody else. Ask about somebody you know he would turn down. Ask about the superstar player. Would you give up Jamar Chase for, these 2 backup running backs? Oh, no, you wouldn't. Well, what about Waddle? Would you move on from Waddle? I'd I'd upgrade the trade. I'd make it a little better for you. That's how you do that. I'm a big believer in that you don't actually want to target an individual player. You want to target an opposing fantasy football owner that you think you can take advantage of. Crazy as that sounds, I know. Is it time to trade for JT? Trade for him in fantasy? The answer is yes, because you have about a 72-hour window where he can actually get traded in the NFL. If it doesn't happen, I really don't like him this year for the Colts. I'll tell you that much. Deontay or Pickens? If I had to go with one, it would be Pickens, but I'm not crazy about either one because I think actually the Steelers' offense is going to be incredibly balanced. I don't think they're going to have anybody who really pops. Najee Harris would probably be the best one. I can see JT sitting 8 games. 8 games feels like a lot given the money he'd have to give up, but could I see him sitting 4? Yes, I do. I could see him sitting a month. Everyone is big on Bijan, rookie QB, second-year QB. Bad offense. Should I be more interested in him? Well, here's the thing, Sean. I think their offense is a little bit better than, I think that's one of the reasons people are excited. Drake London's a talented wide receiver. Kyle Pitts is a talented tight end. Bijan, they made some additions. Their offensive line's a little bit better than people think. However, what I would say is, yeah, Desmond Ritter's a big question mark. Now, I think one of the reasons people are high on Bijan Robinson is he's so talented. We saw that in Texas. And if there is a history of one position that can kind of pop despite the rest of the team not being so good, it is running back. And we have seen that historically. Now, that said, I also think they're playing in a division that will give them opportunities, Bijan opportunities to be successful. So I'm actually decently high on Bijan. Not as high necessarily as some other people. And here's the reason. Rookie running backs hit a wall. It just happens that college football schedule is a month or more shorter than the NFL schedule, and eventually just the grind of the season. I'm not even talking touches. I'm talking practices. I'm just talking the endurance of the season. It really wears on rookies. So Bijan will hit that. Jahmyr Gibbs will hit that. Just like Kenneth Walker III did. Just like Dameon Pierce did. That's what happened. So I think Bijan's going to be a really successful, productive running back September, October. Midway through November, late November, we're going to start to see that turn towards kind of a dip. Seahawks record prediction, I'd probably go with 10-7. I really could see them finishing 11-6, but I'm going to be a little bit conservative here just because it's the Seahawks, you never know. Is Fields a top 5 quarterback this year? In fantasy, I don't think so. And in real life, no. I actually think there are enough talented quarterbacks where I still think he's on the outside looking in. The Falcons coach seems intent on failing. Hard to trust. I don't think any head coach is intent on failing unless you're like the Arizona Cardinals head coach where it's your first year, or like the Colts. It's your first year. You know you've got some runway. You know the built-in fail is there. The Falcons, no, I think Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, expects them to take a step forward this year. K-Dog, second round guys to target after taking JJ or Chase. Well, obviously, Olave, Waddle, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, these are a bunch that are in this second round, third round swing of wide receivers. Personally, I'm really high on Waddle. If Diggs falls to the second round, don't hesitate to take him. So those are a few thoughts that came to mind. I'm not as big on Devontae Adams. Tyler, betting on Vikings and Jaguars week 1, does it hit? We haven't turned our sights to it just yet. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Celtics fan, I don't think so. I think the injury early on in the season is going to impact his numbers. I think the production he has, the targets, will be impacted by DK and Lockett. So overall, I think there are going to be other running backs, other wide receivers who kind of pop more. I think so much of those awards are about narrative, and I think the fact that he's starting off the season with an injury probably hurts his chances right off the start. How long are we streaming, Steve? I don't know. I decided to jump on. We're on TikTok Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. We're doing a night show. Butt Fumble Sports does a day show every single day. We are going to be live at 11 a.m. tomorrow for college football, but we're talking fantasy football right now. Before the season starts, which offensive style will we see more of, pass or run? Oh, we're absolutely... Okay, here's an interesting one. We are going to see a lot of passing. We're going to see more running backs used in the passing game than maybe ever before. However, I would also say there are going to be a few standout teams. I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots are among them, in which they are going to be heavily focused on the running game. And they're going to try and zig where the rest of the league zags. And that would be my expectation. But I think we have entered a heavy passing part of the history of the NFL in the same way that in the NBA we have entered the three-point era. In the NFL, we have entered the passing era in more ways than ever before. What's your Twitch? Butt Fumble Sports. Butt Fumble Sports is our Twitch. If you go over, you can check it out. We're on Discord. We're on Kick. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. We're on everything, everybody. You can find us at Butt Fumble Sports on Twitch. Tyler, appreciate you following. Rate this 12-man team. Watson, Pollard, Gibbs, Lamb, Devontae, Waller, London. Absolutely love it. Levi, that's an outstanding team. Really like that team. Really good. Nice job. Hill, Waddle, Stack, PK, don't have a problem with it because no matter who the quarterback is, we saw it in the postseason last year with Skylar Thompson, no matter who the quarterback is for the Dolphins, those two guys will get their numbers. So even though, obviously, I'd like it to be Tua, I have no problem with stacking those two wide receivers. Highest round, you'd take Ridley. Probably the third round is the highest. If I'm in a 14-man league, 12-man league, and I don't think on that turnaround I could get him. DK, I'd probably go fourth round. Gibbs, I'd consider going third round, believe it or not. 10-team PPR. Ridley, then, maybe again the third round. DK, I'm not as high on injuries, mouths to feed, a lot going on there. Thoughts on ETN's production this year? I think he's going to have a great year. It's just a question of whether he stays healthy. I know a lot of people are worried about Tank Bigsby and whether the running back touches are going to go down. So what? He's going to be involved in the passing game. And again, secondaries against the Jaguars are going to drop back more and more because they're going to be fearful of Calvin Ridley and the deeper passes that they're going to start to run, the deeper routes they're going to start to run. That's just going to open up that kind of second tier and the line of scrimmage for ETN and for a lot of the shorter passes that Trevor Lawrence can get out really quick. So I really like the opportunity for Travis Etienne this year. Thoughts on Ridley early fourth? Oh, love it. Love it. Early fourth. Yep. What tier do you have Christian Watson? Ooh. If we're doing tiers, I mean, I don't know how many tiers I have. He'd probably be in the fourth tier, which is like he has a lot of excuses, both positive and negative. I wanted to see more from him last year. He had a great stretch at one point. At one point, he just went off. But is he just a rip and run player, like someone who goes off on these streaks, or can he sustain it? Two, that was with Aaron Rodgers. So we're going to find out with Jordan Love just how talented he is. Lions winning the Super Bowl. I certainly would love that for the city of Detroit. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Keenan Allen. You get Hill and McLaurin. I think I'd rather have Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Keenan Allen. Tyler, drafted today. Hurts, Kupp, Smith, Dobbins, James Cook, Waller, Ayuk. You got running back problems, Tyler. You need to make some moves to upgrade that running back position. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Make sure you guys hit that follow button. No matter where you're watching, no matter what platform you're watching on, make sure you hit that follow button. Butt Fumble Sports is going to be live every single day of the football season, believe it or not, giving out fantasy football advice, sports betting advice, DFS advice. So make sure you hit that follow button. We talk sports every single day. We have shows every single day. So make sure you're a part of this amazing community. Should I fade Ken Walker? I wouldn't. No reason to fade him. Keenan Allen at 48. 48th pick overall. That's not bad. I traded DK Metcalf for Mark Andrews. Did I win? Depends who your other wide receivers are, Gibby. If you had a lot of depth at the wide receiver position, I think you're in a good spot. By the way, I screwed up. I'm supposed to have this up here. What am I doing? Hold on, guys. Hold on. But Fumble Sports is screwing up. Here we go. There we go. Huh? Now we're cooking. That's what was supposed to be up the whole time on TikTok. So you can check out buttfumblesports.com. If you go to buttfumblesports.com, sign up for the free newsletter. We give out picks every single newsletter. Favorite player prop bets. Our home run pick that we actually gave out in the newsletter cashed today, Ryan Mountcastle. So if you guys want some good picks every single day, make sure you go to our website, buttfumblesports.com, and sign up for that free newsletter. Hey man. In a 12-man with one keeper, would you keep JJ or Mahomes? Great question. The answer is JJ. I understand because Mahomes in the 5th round. Ooh, The answer is Mahomes in the 5th round. It's a trick question. It's a trick question, Bill. It's Mahomes in the 5th round, actually. Because I can get a really good product. Because to get Mahomes, and you're only giving up a 5th round pick, the difference in production, I think it's Mahomes. I think it's Mahomes. Diggs got drafted 6th by my friend. I want to say that's a reach. PK, that's a very serious reach by at least 3 or 4 picks. And in the 1st round, that's substantial. Josh Allen, Eckler, Sanders, St. Brown, Cooper, Johnson, McPherson, Niners. What do you think? User 8478. Really like the team that I'm seeing there. Would give it a B+. Not crazy about Sanders. Other than that, really like it. I think you're probably not as strong at running back as you need to be. Sean, 10-man PPR, Herbert, Pollard, Barkley, Kelsey, Olave, Devontae Smith, Montgomery, and Stevenson. Really like the team that you have. You went deep at running back. Love that. But you were still able to get Olave and Devontae Smith. Brilliant. Curious to know who you're going to end up putting at the flex. I guess that's going to be Stevenson. So it's just a really strong team, Sean. I'd go as high as an A- on that team. Is Hill a reach at 4th? I think by like a couple picks, like 2, maybe 1, 3 picks, not by too much. I think that's less egregious. What do I think about Dobbins? I think Dobbins could have a sneaky good year. Dobbins is trying to earn his money. People aren't talking about J.K. Dobbins. A lot of other running backs got talk, but Dobbins is trying to earn it. I think he's finally healthy. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a pretty good year, actually, and especially now that the Ravens have better offensive weapons in the passing game. Again, it just opens things up because the defense is going to be less committed to stopping the run. Make sure you guys are hitting that follow button. Make sure you're following Butt Fumble Sports, and that way you can join us every single day for our live shows. We do a live show every single day. On weekdays, it's at 5 p.m. On the weekends, it's at 11 a.m. Any mid-late running back picks that you like? I mean, the best that I can think of are like Brian Robinson, Charbonnet. There aren't too many, to be honest. Running back is a position where it really is you get what you paid for. More than I think any other position, you get what you pay for at running back. And if you are cheap, it will come back to bite you because it's so hard to go off the waiver wire and find someone who's going to put up RB1 numbers. Hill, Lamb, your 2 wide receivers. PK, I like that. Would you start Dobbins over Sanders? Yes, I would. Absolutely. Should I do TK for Akers and Harris? Running backs are Hall, White, Swift. The answer is no. I wouldn't do that trade, user. I would do a different trade. I don't think you're upgrading enough. You're just adding another running back. Akers kind of falls into the same category as Swift and White. You're not upgrading enough. So if you're giving up DK Metcalf, you need to get more. I mean, I guess Najee Harris is, but again, like you need to get an RB1. Like go get an RB1, a true RB1. Like go to the person who has Tony Pollard and say, "I'll give you DK, I'll give you Swift. Let's make a move, man." Something like that. PK, of course I remember you. Oh, Sean's taking the other side on that one. I guess we'll have to see. Half-point PPR and running back gets half a point per carry. Would you do Olave, Hawkinson for Miles and Kittle? No. Olave, Hawkinson is what I want. Olave, Hawkinson. Oh, and we're done. I don't know how to change that. I don't know what that does.